Hey guys, Allison here. I heard something probably 30 years ago at a business motivational seminar, and it resonated a lot then, and it resonates a lot now. We are living in a time, particularly with employment, with business, that has become very insecure for a lot of people. A lot of people have lost their jobs, there's downsizing, there are mandates that people aren't necessarily willing to go along with, and they've been put out of work. So, or, people have thought that they had job security with a particular business or a particular company. What I heard 30 years ago was this statement: the only security you have is in your own ability to produce. Think about that. The only security you have is in your own ability to produce. So what does that mean? Now, it's okay to work hard at your job, and it's okay to go to school to learn a skill. But the first place you should be investing is in yourself, in your own abilities. So the first thing I want to suggest to you, take stock of your own abilities, all right? What are your God-given gifts and talents? Now, many of you may have heard of the Clifton Strengths Finder. Got some coaches on Catholic Life Coaches that are Clifton Strengths coaches. And I think everybody should do that test. So you might want to stop by Catholic Life Coaches and look for a strengths coach. But in that test, they identify 34 core strengths. And you take the test and it'll give you your top 5 initially. So what are my top strengths? How can I work from a position of strength and always be dragging against weaknesses that I might have? That's the first step. But also, take stock of your skills, your gifts, your abilities, and your experience. If you are a homemaker, I want you to do this as well, to write down everything you do and the skills required for it. Because if you're running a household, you're running a little business, right? There's a lot of different facets to it that you have to manage and that you have to do on a daily basis. When we look at what we actually know how to do, it is super empowering. All right, so maybe you want to start a side business. Maybe you want to start a big business. Maybe you want to change jobs. Know who you are. Too many people go to job interviews hoping that they give them the gift of the job. You have to turn it around and say, hey, I got stuff that I bring to the table here, and you have to kind of compete to get me. That's the attitude to have. Now, how do we do that? How do we invest in ourselves? This is where coaching comes in really, really handy, and it's worth investing in. And I'm not talking about a lot of money to invest, but it's worth taking time to work with a coach to say, all right, who am I? What are my gifts and talents? Where do I want to be in life? Because sometimes we're chasing all those things that we think we're supposed to chase, but maybe not or aren't really right for us. See, a lot of people like trying to live the social media life to kind of keep up with the influencers and stuff. Is that you? So coaching can be really, really helpful. Below this video, there is a link to a free ebook that I wrote called Live a Life of Purpose and Joy: How a Catholic Life Coach Can Move You from Ordinary to Extraordinary. So I really suggest you pick that up and think about this, because instead of sitting and being afraid, oh God, what's going to happen if I lose my job? Start taking stock right now. Start really owning who you are, because there's nobody else like you, and you've got gifts and talents and abilities, and you combine them in different ways. And that is where our security ultimately is. So really important, particularly during these difficult times. If you know somebody who's struggling like that, please share it with them. Share the ebook also, because I think that especially Catholic coaches who take into account your God-given talents, that spiritual perspective, the Catholic spiritual perspective, that is so important and so helpful, because it really supercharges our journey. We're not doing it by ourselves. There's a lot of good coaches out there that aren't necessarily Catholic, but it isn't just kind of repeating platitudes or motivational slogans, but really having that relationship with Jesus, knowing that he has a purpose and a plan for your life, and then discerning how best to take those talents and gifts that he's given you and manifest it in the world for something beautiful for Christ, to build the kingdom, because that's where we're headed, folks. We need to build the kingdom of God, right? So that's my advice. Make sure you download the book, share it with others, take stock, all right? Because your only real security is in your own ability to produce. God bless you.